I like dolls, but I love books. Okay, I love dolls too, you got me. Hello out there to all of you cheeky little doll-loving book nerds, and welcome to my channel where my dolls and I sit and talk about books. Sometimes it's Barbie, sometimes it's Illy, sometimes it's Monster High, sometimes it's a Disney princess. I don't need to carry on, you get the point. Basically, my dolls and I have our own little book club. My name is Daniel, and I am the Barbie book boy. So there I was, squirming in my armchair while I watched the Thunderdome of all haunted doll movies, Annabelle, and I was getting sufficiently spooked, when all of a sudden I turned and looked over at my plastic lumps and I glared at them for not harboring one single malevolent entity. Do you know how much money those damn Annabelle movies made? Like, it has to be at least $1 billion, right? And no one has ever once been remotely creeped out by any of my dolls. Though I myself get quite a bit of side-eye for being an adult male collector. But these dolls, with their no ghost having smirks, are not making me a single solitary dime. And it's just a darn shame. Frankly, I'm gonna need them to start pulling their weight around here. And since I don't have a haunted doll to exploit for my own financial gain, I'll have to stage a hoax. Maybe I could do like a seance subscription service with one of these gals posing as the medium. All I need is to style one of my girls in some gloomy gothic clothing and give her a tragic toy backstory. Then voila, I'll have myself an entrepreneurial empire full of haunted charm and eerie elegance. And I know just the gal to help get my ghoulish business up and running. The Monster High Designer Series Lenore Loomington collectible doll. Okay, I know people weren't very happy with this doll, but personally, I love her. I do not, however, love her enough to pay full price. So I waited until she was like 50% off and I nabbed her up for myself. Because she was originally like 500 quid plus shipping. I don't know how much that is, it just sounds Britishy and cool. But many a lover of literature like myself had our Edgar Allan Poe phase. And Miss Lenore is taken straight out of what is arguably his most famous work, The Raven. But many of you might not be familiar with Lenore's writing. She's quite the little poetess herself, as exampled here. So I think that's what ultimately sold her for me. The nostalgia that I have for Poe from way back in my angsty, moody, brooding, gothic teen phase was enough to endear this little ghoul to me forevermore. When some of y'all straight up looked at her and said, nevermore. Though I think we can all agree it's nice when they come up with completely new and original characters. I mean, the sky's the limit with imagination, am I right or am I right? So, I hope they keep trying. But who wouldn't love a garden ghost who guards her secret garden in Victorian fashions? And this is one of the things that I love so much about Monster High is their attention to detail. Just look at these patterns on her dress. She's a ghost, so of course her dress has to have like spooky bats and a spider web, but she's specifically a garden ghost. So catch these garden themed designs. She's got flowers and mice and butterflies and bees, and she even has these adorable little mushrooms down here. And I don't know how they did it, but this glitter is not rubbing off on my hands, which I really appreciate. And any Victorian ghost worth her salt wouldn't be caught dead without a few creepy accessories. Like this bizarre chest piece that kind of reminds me of like some kind of weird armor, but I think it's actually supposed to be snaking vines. She also has these little translucent booties that have those same gnarly vines growing on them. I think the boots are supposed to lend to this idea that she's floating on these like pink swirls of vapor, because she originally came with like this crazy tall doll stand. And the effect was supposed to be this like gravity defying ghostly pose like this. Like she was supposed to look like she was like floating in air, but it just didn't work for me. The tall doll stand made her tower over all the other dolls on my shelf, which drove me absolutely bonkers. The shelf was like doll, 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 doll. It wasn't working. So I stuck her on a normal sized doll stand and I called it a day. But honestly, she is so beautiful that I really don't think she needs that tall doll stand floaty ghosty gimmick. She is definitely giving mysterious vibes with her shimmering tears and super dark makeup. Just look at this lip color. I mean, stunning. It's an absolutely gorgeous face screening, especially against this blue Victorian dress. And I love this melting candle theme that they've got going on, starting with her headpiece and down to her little candle holder earrings and her glow in the dark lantern, which I took a very bad picture of right here. The web on her lantern actually comes off, and I actually think I kind of prefer it like this. You can kind of see the little Monster High Skeletor skull better that way, and the little swirly details on the side and on the base of it. And you can see the wax melting on the candle better without it. But I mean, it's really up to you. It just pops on and off. But probably in the interest of purity, I'll be leaving the web on mine. But she also has this adorable little spider friend to help her illuminate her midnight garden too. See the little candles melting on her back? Isn't that adorable? Although probably not very comfortable for her. But her face screening is so cute. Look at that dark lipstick. She's the perfect gal to help me stage a pioneering, profitable, fake haunting business. But we should probably study the ins and outs of said business if we want to be successful and hopefully not get sued. And what better way to do that than by reading How to Fake a Haunting by Christa Carmen. So let's get into it. Laini Taylor has absolutely had it with enthusiastically pretending that everything's fine and there's nothing to see here, because things are most assuredly not fine. See, her husband Callum is, well, how shall I say this? So deep in his cups, he might as well be scuba diving. This bum has pickled himself to the point of having actual hallucinations. Like, he's so brined in booze, he could be served on a charcuterie board. He's basically abandoned all husband and fatherly duties in favor of fermented festiveness. And Laini is sick of waiting for him to sober up and fix the damn deck. He's a marinated menace to both Laini and their young daughter, Beatrix. And Laini just can't take any more chances when it comes to her kiddos' safety and well-being. But divorce isn't really an option for her either, because Callum just so happens to come from the most hoity-toity family in the world, who have essentially just coddled him into absolute uselessness. I mean, these people are so rich that their money smells like mahogany and high-level equestrian competition. To them, his alcoholism is just a phase. He's a pampered pickled muffin wrapped in cashmere with a severe allergy to consequences. And Laini knows that if she tries to leave him and take their kid with her, his family will unleash their gilded claws and just take her down if she even dares. She won't get full custody, and she can't bear the thought of Callum having drunken shared custody of Beatrix. It's just not safe. Laini feels like she is trapped between a rock and a hard place. So what's a long-suffering, lonely wife to do against these country club enablers? She can either stay with the pickled pansy who thinks that gravity is just a suggestion, or she can leave and let his aristocratic gremlin family unleash their bevy of wizards and lawyers and PR magicians. No, these options simply won't do. So she decides on the only option that trapped women like herself have been left to deal with since time immemorial. She stages a haunting so extreme, he'll lose his marinated mind and abandon her and their daughter in an alcohol-induced haze of pure paranoid insanity. what could be simpler? She doesn't need a lawyer, she just needs some patience. And flying teacups, and eerie whispers, and ominous creaks in the night that just drive him to madness. Okay, this plan is bonkers. But don't blame Lainey. It was her best friend Adelaide's idea. But Lainey's just desperate enough to give it a try. So they decide to go full Amityville horror on his ass. These ladies go for all the classics. Unexplainable smells, persistent noises from inside the walls, dead animals everywhere, and flies. Lots and lots of flies. Easy peasy. I mean, Callum's so out of it most of the time that this harebrained scheme of theirs might just actually work. Until it doesn't. See, their fake haunting starts to go awry. Because of course it does. When you mix a pickled husband, a slightly off her rocker best friend, and enough DIY ghostly booby traps to make Scooby-Doo blush, things are gonna be doomed from the first creaky floorboard. So now, Lainey is spiraling. She begins questioning her own sanity, and she's not even the drunk one. Lainey is staring into the abyss of her own staged horror show, and what she sees, it ain't good. And that's basically the story of How to Fake a Haunting by Christa Carmen. And if you can imagine, I have some thoughts. This book is a DIY guide to terrible decisions with atmosphere. Reading this book felt like being handed a haunted house kit from IKEA that you have to put together without any instructions. And it was absolutely delicious. It's domestic drama vibes with strobe lights and a fog machine. Lainey and Adelaide are like two people who think they can fix everything. Like they would try to fix the transmission with a YouTube video totally paused in the wrong place. Just sheer willpower. They're the Lucy and Ethel of charlatan shenanigans, and I'm totally along for the ride. I mean, the idea of Lainey confronting her failing relationship by introducing prop scares is just wild, which makes for super fun reading. So her gaslighting is our literary game. Because what could be more entertaining than this unhinged determination to craft a haunting with the same energy as like a middle school theater project? I mean, this book is a cautionary tale with a mood board. And Carmen's prose is like Shirley Jackson riding a horse through a burning stable while drinking a triple shot of espresso. That actually sounds like a lot of fun. So there you have it, some thoughts on How to Fake a Haunting by Christa Carmen. A book about spectral sarcasm, sizzling suspense, and swarming sabotage. The story of the haphazard haunted hallucinations of a hopeless husband. A book about pathetically planning pandemonium with perilous props by panicked participants. Thank you so much for watching. My dolls and I are going to be doing these weekly videos, so if this is your thing, then stay tuned. Oh, and while you're here, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Leave a comment for Lenore Loomington. Ask her all about her ghostly secrets. Ask her about her gloomy glam routine. Ask her about her seance service rates. Do you ever get tired of floating around all gloomy, or do you secretly just enjoy the dramatic flair?